In our time together yesterday, we saw that the Lord had told the people of Israel, because of their refusal to go into the land after the bad report from the spies, that he was not going to allow this generation to go into the land of promise. They're going to wander till every man of fighting age over age 20 is going to die in the wilderness before they move forward. And so we come up with another ugly story today. One of the best known stories of rebellion in all the Bible has to do with a guy named Korah, verse 1. He has a couple buddies, maybe three, named Dathan, verse 1, and Abiram, and also a guy named On, maybe some others as well. Korah was a Levite, and it would appear he had aspiration for the priesthood. Matter of fact, in verse 10 of this chapter, Moses said, "Are you seeking the priesthood also?" It would appear that he wants to be the power broker in Israel. If he didn't take the place of Moses, he at least wanted to take the place of Aaron and be the high priest. And they're very nasty in the rhetoric here. It says in verse 2, "And they rose up before Moses, together with some of the sons of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation. And they say to Moses and Aaron, 'You've gone far enough, for all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is in their midst, so why do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord?'" So they're accusing Moses and Aaron of exalting themselves, of taking over leadership of the people of Israel, and just basically making themselves the lords, the boss of these people. He asked them later on, "Why are you lording it over the people?" So this is a pure power play. There's a group led by Korah, who is a strong leader, and he has a group of 250 other congregational leaders who he has brought to his side, and they are now going to challenge Moses and Aaron. Well, Moses doesn't back down from this. In verse 5, he says, "Tomorrow morning the Lord will show who is his and who is holy." In verse 7 at the end, "You have gone far enough, you sons of Levi." So Moses said, "Okay, we're going to have a showdown here. The Lord is going to show us who is his handpicked leaders, whether it's you, Korah, and your buddies, or Moses and Aaron, and those that back us. We're going to have a showdown." So and he tells in verse 12, Dathan and Abiram to come up to join them at the tabernacle. They're going to have this showdown at the tabernacle. They refuse to come. But he says, "Is it not enough," verse 13, "that you brought us out of the land flowing with milk and honey, or brought us up out of the land of flowing with milk and honey, to have us die in the wilderness? But you would also lord it over us." So they're complaining. The Lord is not going to let them go into the promised land. They're having bad memories of how wonderful it was in Egypt, and they're angry. They're blaming Moses and Aaron, I guess, for their failure. And of course, it was not their failure. It was the failure of the people who rejected the report of Caleb and Joshua. But nevertheless, they're angry. And then verse 15, Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, and he goes on with the story here. So what they do now is they come together, 250 of the leaders under Korah and 250 leaders with Moses, and they meet in front of the tabernacle. And it says in verse 19, "And the glory of the Lord appeared to all the congregation. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying," verse 21, "Separate yourself from among the congregation, and I will consume them instantly." But they fell on their faces and said, "O God, God of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, will you be angry with the entire nation?" Now again, the Lord is offering to destroy this whole nation. Once again, Moses and Aaron intercedes and basically says, "Lord, just take it out on those who are leading this rebellion." And the Lord does that in a very dramatic fashion. As he promised, he opens up the ground. These leaders are swallowed up. Especially Korah and many of his followers is swallowed up by the earth, and the earth closes up after them. And then he sends fire down on others to destroy them. This is about as clear as you get, that the Lord is choosing to give leadership to Moses and Aaron. Who are the leaders? Well, the showdown has taken place, and God has spoken. Moses and Aaron are to lead the people of Israel. And so you would think it is a done deal, right? It's over. God has spoken. Surely they now will follow Moses and Aaron, whom God has shown to be the leaders. But strangely not, the story is not over. There's an aftermath to this. And we'll pick that up next time we meet together at the end of this chapter and going into the next. I hope you can join us when we look at those passages together.